back. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these because I've been so busy training, working, training, working, training, not in that order, but I've been busy and I finally can say I'm an official marathoner. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? We gotta unpack this race. Um, Listen, if you're a runner, you have to put this race on your bucket list. This race was always on number one on my bucket list because A, I'm from the city. B, I volunteered a couple of times last year. This is the last time I volunteered it, and it was still amazing. Passing out water to the runners or whatever. It's just an amazing race. And I gotta talk about like just from waking up in the morning or whatever. I'm trying not to be too long, but the only like bad thing about this race is it's you have to get to Staten Island like early. Like that's key. And to get to Staten Island, it's a couple of ways. Boat, bus. Oh, a friend of mine said he drove there. He must have drove there the night before because I know they shut the bridges down. And I think he works out in Staten Island, so he was lucky enough to do that. Also, I had another friend of mine who had a really smart idea, and she said that she got a hotel out there. And basically, she just walked from a hotel to the starting line, which is pretty freaking genius. Didn't do that. I took the boat. Then from the boat, I got on a bus. Like I woke up like at 4:30 in the morning. It's funny because whenever I told people that, oh, I'm going to leave at 5, and they always tell me, oh, no, you got to leave much earlier. And I was like, really? And they was kind of right because to take the train to get to the Staten Island ferry was no problem. The problem was when we got to the ferry, when we got to Staten Island, we have to wait on a long line to get on the bus. And then once we got on that bus, we were on that bus for about an hour. And it was an hour ride. We were just stuck in traffic. So thank God I did leave on time. Because I think my start time was like 8, 9. Was it? No, I think it was 8:10 or something like that. But I got there enough time to kind of stretch my legs, met up with some friends of mine, and they had a nice little spot by a tree. So stretch your limbs and kind of just think about the race. Got some free coffee. Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts. That's what's up. They gave out coffee, donuts, hats. I was too late for the hats, but I did get me a hat later. But it starts out in Staten Island on the Verrazano Bridge. This race, you got 4 bridges to get across. I was lucky enough to kind of be up top of the bridge because they do got the bottom part. But the top part of the bridge has a little bit of an incline. No big deal. So you spend like the first 2 miles on the bridge, and then you get into Brooklyn, and that's where the fun starts. Everybody told me, and I'm gonna give everybody the same advice: when you run in this race, no headphones, no music. I had the headphones on, but everybody told me no music. You just want to experience it, and that's the best part about this race. The New Yorkers get a bad rap, but New Yorkers were out there cheering you on, and Brooklyn is just like no other city in the world. They they came out and they cheered you on, and they don't even know you. They just cheered you on, and they do this every year. I know because I got a brother who lives out in Bay Ridge, and him and his family, they go out there every year and they cheer on the runners. And I'm give you advice: if you have to get your name on your shirt or whatever, because if you do, they will really call out your name. Like I was running next to this guy named Kristen, and every time, you know, like he was running by me or I run by him, and they'd be like, "Hey, Kristen, go, Kristen, go, Kristen." Me, I had my Forest Park shirt on, and they'd be like, "Go, Forest Park, go!" So it does kind of pump you up or whatever. So then we hit Brooklyn, and that's when the cheering section began, music, and they were just showing us love. I love Brooklyn. biased, born and raised there, but I met up with some friends that I went to high school with, that I grew up with, and his family, his daughter, they like drew up a sign that said "Go Keith Go." That just touched me. I was like, wow. And then going up towards Brooklyn, I ran into my brother and his family, and they had signs for me, and that was amazing. It's wow. It just blew me away. But Brooklyn is pretty flat, and like a lot of the races is flat. The only tricky part is you have to go over four bridges, so that's kind of the tricky part. Like when we go through Brooklyn, we have to go on the bridge, the Pulaski Bridge, and it's an incline on that bridge. And then we enter Queens, and we're not in Queens for that long. I think 2 miles or whatever. Which my team was there. Shout out to Forest Park Runners Club. They were cheering me on, and they had like, if I wanted bananas, salt sticks, or whatever, they had it for me. Shout out to them. And that's another key I'm gonna tell y'all for the race. If you got family members or whatever, have them out in different parts of the course, so that if you need, like, you don't gotta worry about water, because every mile is water, Gatorade. But if you need a little boost, like a banana or salt sticks or whatever, you got family members to hook you up. Also, random people were just giving out bananas. I was taking them too because I need them. So, yeah, Queens. We wasn't Queens for too long, 1 or 2 miles. Then we hit the Queensboro Bridge. I ran that bridge before, but when I ran it on the side. There was a little incline. It's a different when you're on the main part. That incline was crazy, and people was walking it. So I was behind some runners, and they walked it. So I kind of walked it a little bit or whatever. But I got to the middle part and just kept running. The only quiet places on this course is the bridges, because no one's loud on the bridge but the runners. But once you get off the bridges, crowds galore. And once we got off the Queensboro Bridge into Manhattan and we hit First Avenue, crowd started up again. And then, like, when you're running down First Avenue, you got to see, like, you just look down First Avenue and you're gonna see nothing but runners and crowds, and just for miles. And you're like, holy crap. So I was running up First Avenue to get to the Bronx, and it was amazing. It was great. The weather was great for the marathon. Another tip I gotta say that I forgot to tell y'all: bring warm clothes, like clothes that you're gonna throw away, because just in case if it is cold, you're on Staten Island for a long time. So just in case if it happens to be cold that day, they got bins. Like before you start, they got bins for you to throw your coat and jacket in or whatever, and they donated to Goodwill, so that's kind of cool or whatever. But yeah, just buy old clothes or wear old clothes, old jackets or whatever, so you can throw it in the bin, and you could just keep running. But yeah, so I'm on Manhattan First Avenue, and I'm seeing the crowds. The crowds is great, and they cheering you on or whatever. And we take First Avenue all the way up to the Willis Avenue Bridge. It's this lady who's holding a sign that says "The Last Damn Bridge," and that's when I got into trouble. The Bronx got me. The Bronx was like around mile 20, 21, and I felt cramping or whatever, my legs or whatever. And then this one lady on, like, before I got to the First Avenue Bridge, she had this pen, and she kind of gave it to me, and I was rolling out my thighs and my hamstrings or whatever. But yeah, and then when we kind of got to the Bronx, like around mile 2021, they had BioFreeze. Not, I don't endorse them, but oh man, they had that on course. They had like a station, and I had no shame in my game. I pulled over, stopped, rubbed some on my legs, the back of my neck, everywhere. Oh, that biofreeze came in handy. And then I just continue running. Once we were in the Bronx, we're not in the Bronx for that long. Once we're in the Bronx, and the Bronx was amazing too, because the crowds were out there and they was playing music and they were dancing and whatever. And then to Bronx, then we go back into Manhattan from the Bronx. I'm trying to remember this course because the course is crazy. And once you're in Manhattan, it's just straight. No, it's Harlem, then Manhattan, and then you're running down Fifth Avenue. And once you see the park, you kind of really kind of put a pep in your step or whatever. But you just running down Fifth Avenue, getting the crowds is great. It's amazing. Another tip. Um, Shout out to the volunteers. They do what they can, but you got to be careful when you get to the water stations because it's just cups all over the place. And in some parts of the course, they can't, be out there raking it and it'll be stopping runners. It just is what it is. So you just kind of have to be careful stepping on these cups because you don't want to slip and fall. Especially they got banana peels out there too. So you got to be careful where you run because you don't want to slip and fall and break something or whatever. So you're running down Fifth Avenue. Still kind of flat, a little bit inclined, but not crazy. You get to Fifth Avenue. You're running down Fifth Avenue for about a couple of miles. You go in the park. You're in the park for a couple of miles. No Harlem Hill, thank God. And you just go around the park, up Central Park. I don't know, it was west? I think it was west. And then you go back into the park. And the finish line is just right there or whatever. And you finish. Overall, happy with my time. No, you know what? Yeah, I'm happy with my time. I mean, I finished. That was the key goal. It's just to finish. I mean, because no matter what I run, it's going to be a PR anyway. Because my first time running this distance, but I've learned a lot, and it's now I'm at that part where I'm like second guessing myself. I'm like, did I train hard enough? Did I push myself hard enough? Did I do this? And no need for second guessing. I did what I can. Did the best I can. Finished. So, when there's a next time, there will be a next time. I know what to do and know how to better prepare myself. Now I will know the course like the back of my hand or whatever. Because it's kind of tough to run the course. You can run parts of the course while you're practicing, but it's tough to run the whole entire course. But I'm so happy. Actually, again, this might be my next tattoo. So what I'm gonna do for encore? Race season's not over. I got one more race, like a 15K in December. The Ted Corbett 15K. Got to do that race for the culture. It's funny because whenever somebody tell me that, oh no, you got to do that race for the culture, and they give you that long like stare because they know that it's gonna be cold as I don't know what on that day because I ran it last year and it snowed. But it's fun, but it snowed. No big deal. You just gotta be careful you don't slip and fall, but it snowed that day. But next year I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm scheduled for one race in Philadelphia. Half in March. The Love Philly run. And I wanna do more races outside of New York. Or whatever. I might do one in Baltimore, I might do one in Boston. We'll see. But as far as like races I want to run, I wanted to do Chicago, but I can't because I wanted to do it like a vacation. Me and the family would go out there and have fun. I didn't want to kind of do it the whole I'm just there for the weekend and I'm out. I didn't really want to do it like that. So Boston is out. Chicago is out of the picture. So it's New York or Philly. If I don't get into New York through the lottery, then I probably do Philly. A friend of mine did Philly. He told me Philly course is easier than New York. It's like a lot flatter, which is good. So I gotta pick his brain more about Philly and the ins and outs of the courses and the good parts and the bad parts. So yeah, I might be doing Philly next year and whatnot because my vacation time was terrible. I couldn't really pick anything that I wanted, but we'll make it work. I mean, Philly, I can do the weekend thing. Don't want to, but it's close to New York, so it just is what it is. But if I do New York, if I do get picked for New York, I'm gonna do New York, and then I'll probably do another race in Philly. They got this Rocky Run, and that'd be a cool thing to kind of run the same course as Rocky did in that race. So that's the big plans as far as the big races. As far as I'm still gonna be running the 5Ks, 10Ks, or whatever, and whatnot. But all in all, this has been like the best year of my young racing life. There's be more to come next year. I'm trying to really kick ass next year. Let me go to bed. Yeah, for good night.